Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Red Review. Today, I want to have a little conversation with our Cybertruck owners and our soon-to-be Cybertruck owners because this is actually really important. If you have not heard of your PCS system, power conversion system, and you've never seen it in your service menu, you've never heard of it, I strongly recommend you watch this video all the way through because it's extremely important because right now there's not a recall on these things. But I'm going to tell you why there should be and why you absolutely need to be concerned, even if you've not had any problems yet, because this is one of the few issues that can occur in your vehicle and you have no idea that it has happened. It can break, you don't even know it. And the first time you get a notice of it being broke is when you're unable to charge the vehicle. And if it goes out of warranty, well, you're also out of luck. And let me tell you, this is not a cheap fix, folks. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, make some comments below. Let us know if you're having trouble with this particular item. Please let us know because we want to get a paper trail started on this and let everybody know about it because quite frankly, I think Tesla needs to elevate this one quite a bit. And I'll see you back in just a moment. Hey, everybody, and welcome back. So as I told you about before, there's not anybody really talking about this issue, but a lot of people are dealing with this issue. And what it is, it's called the power conversion system in your Cybertruck. All the Teslas have them, but the one in the Cybertruck is actually pretty unique. Typically, what this board is designed to do, it is designed to allow for you to take AC power or DC power and put it into the truck. Because as you know, your battery is a DC battery. Well, if you use AC power, you need to be able to convert it. That's what this board is designed to do. It converts the AC power to DC power and vice versa. And it also, believe it or not, it takes the DC power and routes it to the proper parts of the truck as well. So that's the basics of what your power conversion system does. And it's a board that is in your truck. It's about, let's say about this wide, long and about that wide. So if you're going to replace this thing, you better fork over a good bit of change. That's not including the amount of money that you've got to spend for the labor to have it done. Because this is not located in some simple area of the truck, like in the front where you can just pop it out and pop it right back in. No. It is buried very deep in the truck where they have to take the part of the bed of the truck out, go behind the air compressor, underneath the air compressor, and go very deep in to just get to this board. It is not easy to get to, and you're going to pay several hours worth of Tesla labor or a specialized Tesla shop because a Joe Blow on the corner is not going to be able to do this one for you. You know, the guy that gets Service Mode Plus and think he can work on Teslas all day and every day. He's not going to work on this one. This one's far too much work. You're going to get charged quite a bit of money and labor to get this one done. So what is it and why is it so important? Well, as I said, it converts all your power from AC, DC, and back again. What makes the Cybertruck unique, however, is the fact that we have bi-directional charging. So which means we can not only charge our battery, but the battery can then backflow that power to your home or to the PowerShare that is in your house or other equipment as well. And that's just something the other vehicles don't really do, not even the Model Y Performance. It doesn't provide nearly as much power as the Cybertruck does. So there's a lot more stress on this board. And because of that, you don't just have one AC PCS. You actually have two. They're all on the same board. And here's what happens. It utilizes both of the nodes on that PCS to give you 48 amp charging, okay? If you lose one of those AC parts of the board, what you notice is that your amperage drops off from 48 amps down to 24 amps, which means now you're charging at basically half the rate that you would normally be able to charge at home. You won't notice it if you go to a supercharger because superchargers are DC power and the DC part of the board handles that portion. Now, from all of the failures that I have seen over time, 99% of them come from the AC side of the board. Most cases, people see a message on their screen that says uh, AC charging unavailable, see service center, something along those lines. This is the last message in the line of failures. The way that you can tell if you've lost one part of the board is that your charging rate will slow down to roughly 24 amps when you're at home, when you're on AC charging. You'll notice the maximum is about 24 amps, and you probably didn't even notice. You probably thought it was the charger or just the charging speed of the truck, something going on. But if you look in your notification menu, you're not seeing anything wrong. The truck is not notifying you that there's a problem. The only way that you're going to notice that there's a problem is if you go into service mode and look in the service mode menu and look for active alerts. There's going to be a message there that alludes to PCS, and it's going to say part of the PCS has failed. That's your hint that the PCS board is now bad, okay? Now, why do I even bring this up? Well, this is the silent killer of the Cybertruck because you don't get any forward-looking notifications, and if you don't do a lot of AC charging, you're not going to know your board is bad. Your DC charging will be going at maximum speed. It'll be going at your normal rate. AC charging is where you're going to notice it. And if you don't pick up on it on the slower charging rate, then the next way that you're going to know is that your AC charging will fail and the truck will not charge. Now, when you go to Tesla to bring it in, because there's no formal recall on this particular item, if you're outside of your warranty, you're going to be on the hook for this. Now, I had this exact problem on my vehicle about a year ago. I made a video on it. I talked about it on the video. I was hoping people will watch it and start picking up on the fact that there was a problem with the vehicles. And I will say it is not VIN number specific, okay? That is not the case right now. I've seen it on all the Foundation Series trucks. I have seen it on trucks that are beyond VIN number 40,000 or even higher. To my knowledge, the problem has not been corrected. So any truck out there, truth be told, is a potential candidate for this particular issue of the PCS board failing. And if I'm noticing there are so many PCS boards failing, Tesla has got to notice. And at some point, they've got to put a recall out for these PCS boards or at least figure out what the problem is so that if you go out of your warranty, they can say, okay, yeah, it was a manufacturing defect. We need to replace that. Because quite frankly, you cannot mess up your PCS board. I'm sorry, PCS board. It's a tongue twister. PCS board. You cannot mess up your PCS board. You can't just plug your truck in and just destroy it. That's not going to happen unless you're absolutely doing something really crazy to it. I can't imagine what you're doing to it. Maybe you're putting 2 wires into the charge port or something. I don't know. But there's no way you can damage this thing. So in almost all cases, it's going to be a manufacturing defect. And that's the problem that I have here. And I wish the Cybertruck community would talk more about this so that we can get Tesla to actually issue a formal recall so that all of the people that have gone beyond their warranty, can actually get this replaced for free, because I know some people out there that are looking at some really big bills because of this. Now, having said that, this is not to be confused with the inverter recall. There was an inverter recall on several trucks for certain VIN numbers. And in fact, my truck, just as a side note, my truck was VIN number about 27,000. It did not have a recall on the inverter, but I lost my inverter a few weeks ago and I had to have my inverter replaced, and it was replaced. Once again, it was done on the warranty, but I was not subject to the recall. And there's a long dissertation as to what's causing this and the different problems. But if certain Cybertrucks are having certain problems, don't believe the VIN numbers all of the time, because usually the problems expand more than what the VIN number range that they're giving, truth be told. And that has been my experience with the Cybertruck. So if they give you a VIN number range, yeah, look at it, but keep a real close eye on it. And this is why I encourage people to actually go into service mode every so often and look around and see what's going on. Or if you have some type of anomalies happening, things that are popping up in your truck, and you get crazy notices every once in a while outside of the FSD camera stuff, that's a whole other ballgame. Outside of those things, if you get spurious errors that pop up for no reason, well, there's always a reason. immediately go into service mode, figure out what that reason is. And if any of those reasons dealt with the PCS or a drive motor or inverter, something of that nature, document it, write it down, or better yet, take a picture of it. Take a picture of the service mode. The service alerts are stored in service mode for a while. So you can go into recent alerts, check out what's going there. The same thing applies to the BMS system. Unless you were disconnecting the battery or anything, you really shouldn't have any alerts there. But those are the big ones. So I highly encourage you to go back and look through the PCS. As I said, I did a whole video on this. And if you have not attempted to backfeed your home with the Cybertruck because you don't have the equipment, you don't know how, things of that nature, I encourage you to find somebody that has a PowerShare unit installed in their house and do the backfeeding. Because the way that I found out, once again, I'm giving you personal experience here. The way that I found out my PCS was bad was the fact that I tried to backfeed my home. And I am absolutely certain that's what caused the PCS failure. The board tried to do what it's supposed to do with a Tesla installed system installed by certified Tesla contractors. System was supposed to be working correctly. There was nothing wrong with the install because we never changed any of that. I had this contractors come out, look over the system, make sure everything was up to snuff, make sure everything was good. They looked over the system, nothing was wrong. And quite frankly, I've never had another problem with the system since. The problem was the truck attempted to backfeed. There was a bad part on that PCS board, and that's what caused the failure the moment I tried to backfeed the home. I'd say better than half, if not 3/4 of the Cybertrucks out there are never going to attempt to backfeed their home with power. It's just not going to happen. You may have a bad PCS board, but the moment you backfeed, there's the potential that you may have a problem with your vehicle and you don't discover it until you try to backfeed with the truck. So if you don't know somebody with PowerShare, try to find somebody and, somebody locally, hey, I'm in Atlanta, give me a call. Let me know. I'll let you try it out and see what your truck can actually do. And if your board goes bad, then, we'll know. Leave comments below. Let me know what your experience is with this issue. And let's get a paper trail on this, guys. Let's get it going so that we can keep track of what's going on. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure Tesla knows, but I'm also convinced there's a much wider swath of folks out there that just don't know that they basically have a ticking time bomb in their Cybertruck that's going to cost them a lot of money one day. So don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like what I'm doing here, let me know that too. And I'll talk to you again soon. Peace.